Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to present to you a 5-step workflow on how to create a USGS account so that you would be able to download spatial datasets such as high-resolution satellite imagery, global elevation data, historic aerial photos, and many other datasets from USGS EarthExplorer completely free of charge. So let's get started with the first step of this workflow. We're going to head over to our browser and access the USGS EarthExplorer web portal and create our credential. So let's head over to this and we type in USGS. So we're going to click right over this first website on the screen, which is USGS EarthExplorer. Alright guys, for the very first time, when you load into this website USGS EarthExplorer, this is the first interface of this website that you're going to see. So from here, you're going to head right over to this login page. Alright guys, so we are going to start creating our new account right at this point. So by the way guys, the link that redirects you to this step has been provided in the video description. So save time, head over there in the video description, click on this link and you get right up to this stage of step 1 so that you would be able to click on this create new account and you proceed. So I'm going to create new account. So I'm going to click on this button right here which says create new account. So let me click on this. Alright guys, we are on this page where we're going to enter our new account credentials. So alright guys, let me enter my account credentials, that is the username and the password. Alright guys, I'm going to click on this continue because I've entered the username, the new password, and I confirm the new password. So I'm going to click on this continue button to take us into the second step of this workflow, which is where we're going to fill in the practical application questionnaire or the usage questionnaire regarding how we're going to use this remotely sensed data that we would acquire from USGS EarthExplorer. So let's head back to this. I'm going to click continue. Alright guys, we are right here. We're going to go through this question and answer them appropriately. The first question is, which sector do you work in? So I'm going to say that I work in an academic institution, and for those of you who are students, academic instructors, this option is right here for you. But if you're working in other sectors, you can choose from this list, or you specify by clicking on others and you specify that sector that has not been listed here. So for me, I'm going to go with this academic institution. So right after choosing that option, you're going to see another question under the same question of under the same sector question. It is saying, are you working on behalf of a US federal agency? I'm going to say no, because I'm not working on behalf of a US federal agency. So the second question is, which of the following characterizes you as a user of remotely sensed data from USGS? I'm not a data provider. I'm not product developer. I'm not a technical user. I'm not a manager. But I'm just an end user of this data that I'm going to acquire from USGS EarthExplorer web portal. So I'm going to choose this as the only option that describes me as the user of this remotely sensed data. So with that, I'm going to head over to this other question. It says, does your work use remotely sensed data from USGS? I'm going to say yes. And then the next question is, of your work that uses remotely sensed data from USGS, what percentage is operational and non-operational? So the definition of these two types of work, operational and non-operational, are defined right under this question. So I'm going to specify the percentage of my operational work for which I'm going to use this data for to be only 10%, such that the remaining 90% I consider it as non-operational. So let's head over to the next question. What is the primary application for which you have used remotely sensed data from USGS in the past year? So when I extend this drop-down arrow, I would have a list of options to choose from. Now, since I am assuming that I work in the sector of academic institution, I am going to say that I have ever used this remotely sensed data before or in the past year in education, maybe when I was in university or college. So I'm going to choose this. Okay, I'm going to choose this. By the way, guys, all these options that we are choosing, they're not a condition that we must choose them. It may vary from one person to another. You may choose different options depending on what best applies to you. So let me head over to the next question, that in addition to primary application, in what other areas have you used remotely sensed data from USGS? So here I'm going to say that I've not used it in other areas. So I'm going to check this and I'm going to head over to the next question, which is the second last question. And over the next year, approximately how much of the remotely sensed data you acquire from USGS will you distribute? I'm not going to distribute any data, so I'm going to select none of them and then head over to the last question, that over the next year, how important will free and open access to remotely sensed data from USGS be to conducting your work? I'm going to say very important. Alright guys, this completes our step number 2 of this workflow. So we're going to head over to step number 3, where we're going to enter our contact detail and submit it to USGS for the registration process. So let's head back to this and click on this continue to contact information. Alright guys, we are right here for the third step of this workflow. So we're going to fill in this detail, and we're going to save the information and then submit it for the registration process. So let me start providing my contact information, such as the first name and the rest. So let's get started. Alright guys, I'm done filling in my contact information. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to save this contact information and submit it, guys. So let me click on this save contact information and then I submit, guys. So I'm going to click right over here. Alright guys, so on saving this contact information, I would have a preview of my contact information right over here. And if I realize that I've ever made a mistake in some of the response that I've provided in my contact information, or during responding to the usage questionnaire, I would have the capability of editing and correcting those wrong informations. But right now, everything that I see here is exactly as I expected to respond to the questions that were there. So I'm going to submit this registration. Alright guys, so we have successfully entered our contact details and submitted it for registration. So the next step, which happens to be the second last step of this workflow, is to go over into our inbox of the email account, the Gmail account that we've used to create this new account, and locate an activation link together with our username. I'm going to use that in the later stage, or in the later step, which is step 5, to sign in. So let's head over to our Gmail account and we locate that email which was shared to us with the activation link and also our username. So I'm going to head over to my Gmail account and locate that activation link. Alright guys, I'm going to head over to this. Yes guys, right here we're going to see there is the hyperlink line of text, which happens to be the activation link of the new account that I've created, and also confirmation of my username, which is ready. So I'm going to copy this username because I'm going to need it after this, before submitting my confirmation. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to hit on this activation link. So right here I'm going to enter my email, not my email, but my username, and submit it to confirm the registration. So I'm going to paste my username, and then I'm going to submit this username to confirm my registration of this new account. So I'm going to click on this submit. So alright guys, I have submitted my username to confirm the registration. So when you look right here at the top of this page, you're going to see that I have successfully confirmed my registration. So the next thing that I'm going to do is the step 5 of this workflow, where I'm going to sign in into USGS using my account credentials. So I'm going to enter my username and the password to access USGS EarthExplorer web portal. So let me get back to this page. Then I'm going to enter my username and the password. Yes guys, I am going to sign in with USGS password because I've entered the username of the new account and the password of the new account. So I'm going to click on this sign in with the USGS password. So I'm going to click on this sign in with USGS password. Alright guys, I have completed registration of my account and it was successful. So this is just some information about my account, and at this point I have successfully created a new account with USGS EarthExplorer. So the next and the final step of this 5-step workflow on how to create a USGS account is to head over to my browser. I am going to type USGS EarthExplorer. USGS EarthExplorer. And my account has been successfully loaded, and I have successfully logged into USGS EarthExplorer. You can see my account username is right here. That shows that the new account has been created and I've been logged into this USGS EarthExplorer web portal. And that is it guys. If you find this video useful to you, please like it, share it, and if you may wish to have a suggestion for future videos, I welcome your comment in the comment section. Otherwise, if you're watching this video for the very first time on this channel, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. So thank you so much for watching. See you again in a future video. And by the way guys, all the important links for the registration process are posted in the video's description. So head over there and save time, get registered, get your new account created, and start getting access to downloading spatial datasets completely free of charge from USGS EarthExplorer web portal. Thank you guys. See you again in the next video. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to download spatial datasets from USGS. So stay tuned for the future video. Thank you so much.